Ahoy, hoy, friends! Welcome to the Salon. Tonight we are talking about Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. But before we do, we've got some fun stuff to talk about. First of all, welcome to my fellow Saloners. Welcome to our friends in the audience. We love having you. Thank you for joining us. Secondly, a bit of a disclaimer that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, we'll share tonight as well. While Star Trek Prodigy is a wonderful show built for everybody, but geared towards children and families, this show is not. We're a little irreverent. We drink, we get high, we swear, we do all the fun stuff. So if you stumbled upon this via YouTube thinking, oh, a fun Star Trek Prodigy chat that me and my kids can continue the fun from the show. That is not what this place is. But if you are like us, a Star Trek fan who likes talking about all things Trek, who is over the age of 18, welcome. And with that, let's set an intention.
All right, Saloners. In honor of not STLV, of San Diego Comic-Con. I can't talk. I don't know where I am. I might be time traveling. No, in honor of San Diego Comic-Con, I thought it would be fun if we went around the room and talked about what we're hoping to hear out of STLV. Why do I keep saying STLV? What's wrong with me? Somebody fix it.
You're excited to travel
on the
next
brain
week.
I'm just excited.
next week.
I just want to go. I can't wait. What would you like to hear out of San Diego Comic-Con? Take 7. As always, I will start before we go around the room, and I will say that I am extremely excited and very much looking forward to a Section 31 trailer. I'm tired of hearing the casting announcements for a movie that's already finished. That feels weird. Why do they keep telling us who's in it after it's in the can? Like, just show me the trailer, get me excited about it. I'm very geared up for new Trek. I'm ready for it, and I want to see Michelle Yeoh kick some ass. So that's what I'm looking forward to out of San Diego Comic-Con. What are you all looking forward to? We'll start with you, Krista.
I'm with you. I want a Section 31 trailer. And mainly because the last thing I saw on Twitter about it was it's got Michelle Yeoh, and she's huge comparative to everyone else. She's the biggest head. So, and I heard that they are providing some things like that. So that's what I'm most interested in.
She's huge, and so are her shoulder pads. I'm very excited.
There were shoulder pads. There was LeMay. I mean, it's Studio 54 extravaganza. I'm down for it.
It's almost Star Trek Golden Girls. Joanne, my love, what are you looking forward to?
Well, like you all, I want to see the Section 31 trailer, and I was hoping maybe for some Strange New Worlds news. I also, outside of the Trek universe, I like San Diego Comic-Con because I like the cosplay contest. Kind of the nerd version of drag, right? And but really, I want to see some Rings of Power stuff too. So, I've been cruising the interwebs looking for things.
Love it. Will, welcome back.
Thank you. I like everyone. A Section 31 trailer. It would be weird that they would premiere it at Comic-Con and not at STLV, but who knows? But I'm also looking forward to new merch stuff. I saw there was a couple of toy companies that had a couple of mock-ups. I think I'm desperate for something other than another model of the original Enterprise or the Enterprise D. Give me something else, please. I just need something else. But in terms of entertainment, probably Section 31 or yet another Star Trek 4 announcement for a movie that won't happen. So that'll be fun.
A thing they were going to do but aren't going to do, but we'll hear about it.
Another one. We'll have enough of them to have the Infinity Stones like Thanos, And if we get them all together and we snap, we might get something.
Kirk will be played by Chris Pine's son. Ken, what about you?
Well, so I am curious to hear something that we don't know about yet. I don't know what that is, obviously, since we don't know about it, but I'll be curious to hear if they're going to announce something that is a big surprise that we haven't heard of yet. I don't know what that could potentially be. I mean, the Section 31 thing is going to happen. I got into trouble on Twitter for referencing that banner, so I'm not going to say it again. But so the that's what I'm looking forward to, and I am looking forward to new merch and new merch that's not like tens of thousands of dollars. Cool new merch that's not tens of thousands of dollars would be nice. So that's it.
Dare I say, looking forward to the unknown is the Trekkist answer that has trekked thus far. Fearless Leader?
I agree. Alex Kurtzman has said that there are things that he can't talk about yet that they're working on and milling about. So it'd be cool if we got something along those lines. I also want a Section 31 trailer. I'm really excited for that movie. I'm going to watch it as soon as we can. I think it would be cool. They haven't filmed anything yet, but they've talked about building this massive set for Starfleet Academy. So it'd be cool to see a couple of behind the scenes stills, like anything that they feel comfortable showing yet. Strange New Worlds, and I agree. It'd be cool to get new merch and these licensing issues settled. I forget which one's doing it, but there's a new set of ships with a new company coming out, and they did not start with yet another version of the original or the Enterprise D, and so we're actually getting new ships, which I'm really excited about. And I'm also I finally watched Silo on Apple TV, and I am obsessed. I bought the books, and they're going to be talking about season 2, so I am also looking forward to that. Which in some ways might even be a precursor to the Star Trek universe. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Lovely intention setter as always, Trevor. And so with that, let's get into the meat and taters of this episode of the Salon. We're talking about Star Trek Prodigy season 2, episodes 5 and 6. Quick programming note, as mentioned, Star Trek Las Vegas is next week, so we will be off because several of us will be there in person, and then we'll start again in 2 weeks. But let's talk about it. Let's get into these episodes. My friends, what are our top thoughts on these 2 episodes of Star Trek Prodigy? I'll kick us off. Really enjoyable. We finally meet Jillian. We've seen little glimpses of her in the past, but we finally meet Jillian and get a really fun set of scenes in Cetacean Ops. It is both mesmerizing and, for me personally, terrifying. The water is not for us. We should not be down there. I don't need to know what's in it. And taking some of it with us to space feels like a harbinger, or an albatross, a water albatross, as it were. Super fun stuff. The holo shenanigans. I oscillate wildly between hating holodeck shenanigans because the regulations need an overhaul. It makes no fucking sense. This, like, it does not compute. And that's super fun. And here's a new fresh take on some holodeck shenanigans, because we've had so many holodeck shenanigan episodes. I would imagine it was challenging to think of how to keep this fresh. So those are my top thoughts. Ken?
Well, so episode 5, starting with that one felt very, very Voyager. The kids sort of took a step back a bit in that episode, and we focused a lot on Janeway and her crew, and I thought that was nice. I just rewatched them again tonight in preparation for the Salon, and that's what struck me very much was episode 5 was a lot of very much like almost like a Voyager episode. Episode 6, we're back with the kids in a big way, and I really like the story about knowing yourself, right? Literally looking at yourself in the mirror, facing yourself in a way. And I think that when you have a chance to do that, the kids learned a lot. I mean, Rock, it was very cute to see Rock and Rock team up. It was in the way that they did. We learned a lot about Doll and a lot about Pog, and from just the experience of them being there. And in both episodes, Picardo is just kicking butt as the Doctor. It's just really great to see him doing wonderful. So we all know that Janeway is fantastic, but to see the Doctor come back and to be such a strong character is wonderful. So that's my top thoughts. And now to Will.
I echo everyone's sentiments thus far. I thought it was really cute. The episode 5 with trying to figure out what Murph says, like, it's kind of becoming the excuse the reference, an R2D2 of the show, where they kind of say things and people just kind of automatically translate it and we don't hear it as the audience, which is fine. And the kind of the sprinkling of what's going on with Gwen throughout and like the visions towards the end is nice. Like, you could tell that they really planned the arc of the season throughout. So like kind of sprinkling in that the her leaving the reality and the visions and all that stuff is great. And then the last episode, like the episode 6, we've always had a lot of, like, we have a lot of episodes when the holodeck goes haywire, or like episodes with the transporter malfunctioning or something. So getting kind of a slightly fresh take on this is really nice, and I thought it was cute, and it was a good way to show character development without with making it fun, at least. So I thought they were both cute. Joanne, darling.
So I really struggled through these 2 episodes. And I'm not sure why. Like, when I watched them again on rewatch, I realized the first time that I barely watched them. So I probably need to unpack that. But I had a hard time being focused about these. I don't know, maybe if because it was dialogue heavy, or the hologram switch confused me. I know I was sort of fixated for a while though, on the whole Murph and understand thing. Like, I don't know why I thought that was kind of resolved. Like, I figured everybody understood Murph, or at least on some level they understood Murph. Um, so I was trying to remember how all of that went down. But I thought the Jillian moment was probably my favorite. Jillian Murph moment was really, I don't know, I loved everything about that. I was zoomed in at that point, and just, I don't know, I loved it. It was very beautiful. It was very cosmic and universal and hippie trippy and touched my spirit and all of that. So, I feel like singing a hymn. It was just, yeah. So I love that part. But the rest of it, I mean, they were fine. There's not a bad episode, but I struggled to pay attention. And these are my top thoughts. Krista?
I think for episode 5, I loved the Murph stuff. For episode 6, I loved the Rock stuff, and I generally watch these episodes trying to think of what is the takeaway for someone who is pre-adolescent. So, like, what is the message that's being sent? And I think what I really liked about the Murph was that it's easy to ignore Murph because nobody understands what Murph is saying. And the message is you may not understand, but it doesn't mean the message is any less important. And sometimes you have to think outside of the box, and you have to stretch yourself a little to understand things in your environment that don't naturally come to you, that don't naturally make sense to you. I loved that Murph was frightened to get into the water, but once given the A-OK to go ahead and swim, just really sort of literally lit up and bloomed and really kind of ran with it, which I thought was a beautiful scene. And then in episode 6 with Rock, I thought the importance of the holograms, everyone but Rock became almost competitively antagonistic. But Rock was the only one, which is why she's sort of like my little soul child. She's the only one that sort of sat back and thought, why don't I try to make common cause instead? And so she's kind of like, we're here, we need to get here. This is the fastest way to do it. She's very, very particular that way. And it makes me adore her even more because she's so joyous about it and so open about it. And I think the message there is that you need to find a way to interact with things in your environment that may look like you, but also make you a little uncomfortable, even those parts within yourself. And I thought it was kind of sweet that in any form, Rock was still sort of the one that gets down to brass tacks and gets it done. And she doesn't do it in a way that is diminishing of anyone else. Also, she's not interested in the drama. And apropos our conversation before we went live, she's the one that also says, I have a personal life and it doesn't happen at work. So she's not down for any of that drama. But if her friends are in trouble, she's ride or die. And I just love her as a character. So Murph and Rock are my favorite characters right now. And I'm kind of interested in that Zero Majal thing that's being hinted towards the communication between the two of them. That's it, Trev.
Potential budding romance.
Yes.
So I literally agree with all of you, including Joanne, and that I also I enjoyed these, but struggled to pay attention for some reason. I blame myself more so than the show, just because I feel like maybe I was just in a state of distraction, and so it was difficult for me to focus. But I will say that I started this show back in season 1, loving Zero, and I think I've shifted to being sort of Murph obsessed, which is not something I anticipated. But Murph becoming a mermaid or whatever Murph morphed into was delightful. Love Jillian and everything about Jillian. The water doesn't scare me as much as it scares Stan. I'm comfortable with the water going into space and the things that live in it helping us navigate. That sounds like fun. I mentioned this, I think, on our season 2 intro conversation. So this wasn't on sort of an official Salon, but Cetacean Ops reminds me of the Living Seas at Epcot. So anytime they go into it, I'm sort of in my happy place because it's one of my favorite rides in all of Disneydom. So I just enjoy that an episode spent so much time focused on it and focused on Jillian and focused on Murph talking and all of that fun stuff. The episode 6 was where I really struggled, again, blaming myself for being in a state of distraction while watching it. But I will say an important takeaway that no one else has mentioned. I was very critical of interiors of Voyager A. I love the idea of the rounded holodeck space. I realized building a live action round set is not easy, but doing it in animation, it just makes sense that space wouldn't have corners. So that aspect of it is really cool, and I love the concept of it. So a little bit of a silly favorite takeaway from episode 6, but those are my top thoughts. I'm feeling silly today.
Nothing but silliness in these episodes, except we start out very serious. We have to do some child endangerment cleanup. We have a fun little interrogation of our heroes. Dal is correct about coffee being better with sugar. We get some gibberish from Murph and the crew. explains to the adults in the room what happened in the last couple of episodes. And Janeway reminds these adults, hey, you all were perfectly willing to do this mission just 48 hours ago. Shit went down. Now we got to deal with it. So what do we think? What do we think of the mission to clean up this secret mission and the treaty violations? It's an interesting thing for me to see this in a children's show where Starfleet is objectively breaking the law. Thoughts?
Teach them early.
Teach them early.
Teach your children well.
Yeah. I do like the little Cerritos reference. I love the little Cerritos reference
funny.
they toss in there, which was good. Like that, we haven't seen a crew that's incompetent. I was like, oh damn. I for some reason it feels a little like they should have been punished more for what they did, because they kind of ruined the whole mission. Like the initial setup, even though like, you know, we'll know otherwise, but like it does seem like it was kind of a it did seem like it was like, oh, just it's fine. Well, we can't be mad at you because this mission was secret and illegal. So it's like, oh, two wrongs don't make a right, I guess. I don't know. I was a little confused as to why they weren't like jailed. Like they're like free to roam the ship. They stole a ship. Like, and there was no like punishment really. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
No,
I think
fair
they were
enough.
guilty. Yeah. I think they felt guilty that, well, you know, we were all willing to do something illegal and go rogue and, you know, fuck Jellicoe or whoever. So, you know, I don't know. I think they were just like, you know, they get stuff done. They're really smart. Because what was that when Tysus was like, you know, they've been through so much, right? So let's cut them some slack. So I don't know. But can I say, I probably realized this is probably where I got distracted because, yeah, watching Doll drink coffee and say it was better with sugar probably took me all the way back to the kitchen table of my childhood when my dad would slip me coffee. So that's probably where I first stopped paying attention.
I liked Zero figuring out that the way to distract the doctor from being all over them every time they tried to make a move was to like, let's talk about these holo books that you do, or these things that you create. It reminded me of when I was in a physics class and we didn't want to discuss physics. We would ask the professor about Husker Du, and he would go for 45 minutes on the band Husker Du, and then it was class is over. Okay, let's leave. It's that kind of level of distraction, which is ultimately kind of harmful to you, but in the moment, all you want is to just get that person out of the way. And I thought it was a very authentic kid thing to do. Very authentic, you know, young people against the old people establishment thing to do, just to see if you could get over. Although here's an unpopular opinion. I lose interest when Doll is on the screen too much. For me, it's yeah. I'm not warming to him at all. He's very. I would have thrown that one in the break. Just that one though. Because I'm an asshole.
He's
No,
a
no,
child,
he-
Krista.
He is the instigator, though.
Well, even after, you know, even while they're saying, hey, at least we're not in the brig. I mean, you know, we're not in that much trouble, and he's still griping. It's things like that where it's like, it just, I tune him out. He's not on my radar.
I mean, he's definitely the instigator, right? I think first of all, going back to the whales and everything, I just as a general note, I just am stunned at how beautiful this show is, how beautiful the animation is, how beautiful everything is. That opening scene in episode 5 where you're seeing the Voyager, it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful show all around, visually, and just creatively, sound wise, sound design. Everything is so great with this show, and these 2 episodes exemplify that. I think that what you have is, that sort of montage where the kids are talking. That's a trope that's been used a lot, not so much on Star Trek, but on lots of shows. And I think it was an interesting way to do it. You have Rock saying, we're going to get used to the brig, or do we want to get used to the brig? So you have these different characters who are looking at this in very different ways. You have Dahl saying, we're fine. And we have Rock to the other extreme of Rock saying, I'm never dealing with you people again. I'm just going to go do my stuff. Leave me alone. And everywhere in between. So it's interesting to see all of this, and then also to see how the adults handle it. You're right. This issue is that about, well, they did bad things, but we're going to forgive them because they did the Star Trek-y thing of these people saved the universe, so they'll be fine, kind of thing, which happens in Star Trek all the time. You have these people who are amazing people, so let's not punish them. Let's give them a starship instead. So that kind of thing happens a lot, and I think that's what you saw here. But you also saw Janeway struggling, and she sort of putting her foot down, saying, you guys, like you said, Stan, everyone was in this 48 hours ago. How can we punish them if we were all going to do it anyway? So I sort of get that. But to Krista's point about what does this tell the young people who are watching the show, if the adults were going to do it anyway, the kids can't get in trouble because the adults are going to do it anyway. I mean, that's not necessarily the best message. And that's the end of my ramble for this moment.
I do want to point out, because I'm just not going to let it die, my critique of the interior of the Voyager A. Episode 5 does reinforce my strong held belief that there is not a comfortable place to sit anywhere on that ship. Those conference room chairs look like buckets. I don't understand. There's no back support. I realize I'm 5,000 years old and I need something to support my back, but oh, good. A chair that goes up to my hips. It's the dumbest. It makes no sense. Make it make sense. I love this show. It's a beautiful show. It's a beautiful ship. I love these characters. People need to sit down.
I think the most comfortable spot on that ship is also the most terrifying. It's cetacean ops in the water.
Yes.
Oh, it's not terrifying. It's lovely. And
it's not for us.
We came from it.
There's a reason we can't see down that far. It's not for us.
So are we
It
to
doesn't seem like
assume
that.
that Jillian is Starfleet?
Oh, she is.
Why are
Yeah.
they carting a whale around? That doesn't make sense to me, other than this is yet another, this is a Starfleet person.
So
Whale.
it's a Starfleet whale.
We're
We're going to be one whale.
Let's
a
talk
Starfleet
about
whale.
it.
So that was bad, Stan. That was bad, Stan. Bad. I'm taking points away.
I feel shame.
I'm taking points. You're in the negative again.
What did he say? I didn't even hear it.
I said, well,
said
let's talk
carp
about
about
it.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, I thought you said let's carp about it. Let's talk about it. Oh my God.
Now I'm
Let's
taking points.
harp about it. That's
Well,
I thought that's
down.
what he said. Let's carp about it.
Nope.
No, but
And-
you can take points. It's fine. I never get
You're
it.
Well, you won some earlier.
What?
You are at least still in the positive. So I won't tell you by how many, but
Okay.
you're doing all
Okay.
right.
That's good. That's good. Good.
But you did lose some. So Krista, do you remember? Were you aware that there were whales and dolphins on the Enterprise D?
No.
So there is in yesterday's Enterprise, which I realize it was a different timeline, but you can hear someone being summoned to cetacean ops.
Okay.
And in The Perfect Mate, Geordie grabs one of the Ferengi and to distract him and says, "Have you seen the dolphins?" And the Ferengi's like, "Oh yes, dolphins." And they to get him away from the ambassador.
Okay.
So on the actual deck plans, which a 15-year-old Trevor ordered online, well, it wasn't online. I had ordered in a catalog because it was the Stone Age. But on the
Cut
actual,
it out of a magazine, wrote in,
in
put
6
it
to
in
8
your
weeks,
own
these suckers will
envelope.
be mine. Yes, self-addressed stamped envelope. And
Then the Pony Express came and took it away from me.
That's right. I gave it to the man on the horse, and 8 weeks later, the thing where's Sohail? We need
It
Twining.
sounded like the Pony Express lands the ship.
I need Twining.
We were.
And
We could put it on a man with a horse. Yeah.
And
I think that
that
counts.
is the premise of the next Kevin Costner movie.
God.
Mailbag.
man.
I counted it. But anyway, the moral of the story is on the original deck plans, there's actually a section carved out for cetacean ops, and there's like little tiny dolphins and whales on the ship. And the
Okay.
idea is that because they are used to moving and navigating in a three-dimensional environment, they are apparently natural navigators, and they can interface with the ship's navigation system and help it navigate. And also,
They also
apparently at that point, we've
historically-
learned to talk to them through the universal
they
translator.
also historically are faster than lightning. Flipper.
Now you're negative. Fuck it.
I knew it. I think it then.
I'm taking
But
them all.
faster than lightning. All right, that's fine.
There's going to be some serious math. This will be a kids show. There's going to be a math lesson at the end.
Is this on the final exam, Trev?
Minus 25 for Ken for flipper jokes. Okay.
It's the best dolphin ever. All right, fine.
Anyway, where were we? Bad chairs. Cetacean ops is safe.
Yeah.
Stan needs like something to comfort him when he enters the room. Like, how do we?
I wanted Jillian to have on a uniform like they do in Lower Deck.
Like the lower deck.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Even like just a sash or something. Yeah.
With a little
Do
tiny
you
combat.
want to talk about it?
Like you could put it in like one of Troy's dresses or like one of Guinan's hats.
Hats. One of Guinan's
That would be
hats.
good.
Awesome.
Like the
Yeah.
big one that
big purple
Guinan
one.
had, the one that was like this wide. Yeah.
I need somebody who's a good artist to draw this up. We need to see Jillian in a Guinan costume. We need Jillian in a Troy dress. Yeah.
Summon Sohail. Sohail
Playing
can do
her
it.
part in the Shakespearean play that the
Yeah. In a Dickens costume.
Dickens.
You could have Beverly trying to teach her to tap dance, and you just see two little tap shoes just sinking. She's like, I don't think this is going to work, Bev. And just these two little tap shoes. You're not trying. She's like, puts them on her flippers. She's just like,
The
Yeah.
two back flippers.
yeah. She's just clicking them on the glass. That's great.
Oh, it's for a wedding. Hold on.
Oh, Norman, good call.
Bev alert.
That was a
Oh,
Bev
yeah.
alert.
Yes, it was. Thank you for keeping me on my team.
On your flippers.
Sherlock
Oh,
Holmes.
God, Ken.
You can't lose.
Yeah,
more.
then you could have. Oh my god! Now you could have her in like in a holodeck thing where she's in like a like the Hood of Picard's like
She's
like
Dixon Hill.
Dixon Hill. Her as Dixon Hill. That'd be great.
No.
Let's
her,
solve this murder.
have
Or-
her in Worf's holodeck
Calisthenics.
program where he has
The Stovacor, the nightmare thing. She's
Man,
like
I
wearing
understand.
a bat
Jillian
leg,
is-
wearing armor, and
Yes.
is floating around.
Get ready,
It's like-
get ready, Trev, because this all
There's
sounds
this-
like one whales of a tale.
No.
Yeah, well, no.
Somebody mute Ken. Somebody mute Ken.
Yeah,
subtracting-
Ken, go get a glass of wine,
subtracting
please.
those
Oh
2
my
weeks
God.
From now. He's
Oh.
already in the
God,
negative.
we're having a lot of fun here, Ken. Come on.
No, I'm
Live
sorry.
long.
I like it. Look, it's fine.
Is I'm still stuck on Jillian tap dancing.
Jillian
Or-
Just like in the
I wanna
tank.
see-
Like so if this was
Yeah.
it, you would just see two little tap shoes just sinking.
Jillian playing a crucial role in the Bell riots.
Or in
Laugh
getting
again.
getting
Could you imagine them
Jillian-
just be her being like, I want to go on an away mission? They beam her onto a board cube. She just smashes a bunch of them. Assimilate this. It's just Jillian, just 500 tons of just whale landing on her.
Do you have any plans?
She just got
in-
phasers. She's just like falling through a cube. That's fucking sick.
Yeah. Jillian would be like, resistance is not futile. Bitches.
They have her strapped to the top of a shuttle and they land.
With like a
I
Or
wanna
giant
just like,
see
or
this
no,
so
just the
bad
back of
now.
her is hanging out of
Water in
it.
it.
So just the back is her
big helmet.
her fins, her tails is hanging out as the shuttle lands.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Rock is spraying her with water.
Yeah. So she's just in a kiddie pool. They're dragging. Yeah.
Oh, Jillian
God,
riding one
I
of
want to
those
see this so
men's
bad.
motorcycles.
Oh, that's good.
Somebody on Instagram did this like other animals as dogs. So there was like a moose dog, a seal dog. I need somebody who is good at Photoshop and art for us to just like, hey, watch the last 5 minutes of bullshit on this episode of The Salon and go to town. We want Jillian falling through a board cube saying resistance is not futile. We want her tap dancing. We want her solving a mystery as Dixon Hill. God. We want her as Guinan. We want her as
Oh.
Troy.
We want her making the moves on who was the holodeck girl for Jordy? I think.
Oh
Jillian.
God,
Oh,
she's
God,
like
Jordy's
dating
right.
Leah Braun.
Leah
Jordy's
Braun.
hit on-
Oh, that's
hit
the
on
Braun.
hit on the whale. She's like,
Yeah.
back away, Jordy. You're
Jillian
being a
goes in
creep.
and lays
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
You're being a creep.
Yeah. When you touch these engines, you're touching my fins.
Oh,
When you touch these
and
engines,
my whale of a
you're
tail needs to
fondling
get
my
deleted.
blowhole.
Mine was on
No.
topic.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
saving
Okay.
the blowhole for marriage.
Blowhole.
Oh boy.
This is a children's show, by the way.
There is
There
a
was a
disclaimer for a reason.
Truly. For this, specifically this moment.
It's so none of us
Um,
get sued.
Yeah. So speaking of whales, and communication, let's talk about the actual plot that included Jillian in this episode. So we needed to figure out. Somebody was talking to Murph from beyond time and space. And we needed to figure it out. All these clues. And then we finally get to Jillian, and she's like, I do understand this fool. Gives the words find me and some coordinates. Really cool use of like not really a Star Trek trope, but sci-fi and storytelling in general of like needing to figure out how to communicate with one another when we don't have a shared language. It was really cool to see it in a kids show and working together to do that. Is that enough of a prompt for thoughts, or I don't have a clever question, and my edible is starting to kick in.
I thought
So my brain is spinning like Krista's hand right now. Krista, you go.
all the different things making the spiral was a good metaphor for the bullshit story behind Chakotay. That's right, I said it. The origins, where he's from, it was like mildly tribal. I didn't.
Yeah, I almost feel the need, especially like this is not really a spoiler. We are clearly going to be getting to Chakotay. So I feel like every episode I do want a disclaimer here about how fucked up it was in the 90s for Paramount to not do proper vetting of the native consultant who was not native and did not have the credentials to be consulting, to generate this character, to not pick one of the any number of tribes and learn to cast an actor from a tribe, or to gear the character, like Trev said last week, towards I hate to conjure his name, but Robert Beltran's own heritage and tribes down in the Mexico area, Mexican American areas. Instead, we get that Akuchi Moya bullshit. And it's in the past. So here we are talking about some of the best storytelling of Chakotay in the franchise, because they did not give it to us in Voyager, because we had a lot of white people writing for the show and an actor who was not engaged in the process.
It was a good way. It's the beginning of the attempt to. Well, it's not technically the beginning of the attempt, because the beginning of the attempt is the beginning of the series, with them clearly stating that he was someone that the plot was driving toward. But it's the beginning of the repair of what was done in Voyager. It's starting to make the character and the character's backstory make more sense. So that part of it was cool. Anyway, back to the whale. What the fuck?
Yeah. Any more scenarios for the whale? Velocity. Play a game of Velocity with Jillian.
The American Gladiators thing that
And
Riker
Bujitsu.
and his that
could play
Riker and his
Bujitsu.
dad had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And I'm still stuck on tap
I thought,
dancing
going back
and
to-
Dixon Hill.
Just
Going
two-
back
two
to Murph,
little
I thought it was
shoes.
very cool.
How about Jillian goes to the Nexus? What
Ooh.
would Jillian's Nexus life look like?
It would
Lots
be
of
a
things
Charles
in.
Dickens story. It would be
It
Charles
would be
Dickens.
just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Finding Nemo. Oh, there you go.
It would be Finding Nemo.
Or Baby Shark. No.
No.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sounds
there's-
stuck in my head.
Well, guess what's not in your head
Fuck
now?
you, do, do, do,
You
do,
have
do,
shoes.
do, fuck you, do, 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 do.
Shut the fuck up! That's in my head now. God.
Never
What
been
an
more
ear-
thankful.
Suggestion.
Never
I never-
been more thankful that I start to just zone out when Ken says nonsense.
It's an ear.
It's like,
Look, first
It's
of
an ear
all,
whale.
I,
Ken, go ahead.
it's
Go
an
ahead.
ear whale. You saw Murph grabbing a bunch of stuff from the table, which I thought was a very cool little thing. And I thought maybe he was just grabbing it to eat it, but then you saw that he did it to build the spiral, which I thought was very cool. So that was an on-topic comment, might I add, all my fellow Saloners. So now I have to be
Noted.
quiet again.
I always find like the trope of like the one character who doesn't speak, who has a different way of speaking, is always the one who has the message. Like the trope of that, I'm like a little like, oh, okay. But then like, anyway, I was going to mention something that happens later, but I was always like, oh, he's got the one who knows what's going on, and he knows, but I don't know. I just kind of like figured it was what was going to happen in some way.
Right, but
It
there's
is a
also
little-
the trope. There's also the trope that Janeway has what appears to be a river stone with the decorative thing on it, and again we're in the us versus them scenario where she's not communicating these things and they're not communicating. Like, how much we would have had time for Jillian to go to the Nexus if you guys had just communicated that this is like they would have known it was having something to do with Chakotay, because she already knows that it has something to do with Chakotay.
The communication obstacle is the reason we didn't get an underwater Dickens Christmas. Starring Julia.
Some random red-headed whale.
who later ends up playing. Never mind. I did think it was. I do think it's interesting. This is not episode specific, but like it does concern me that we're basically training Murph to be a security officer who no one can talk to up until this point.
Yeah.
Like, might you want that person to be able to communicate threats, danger, important information?
Also,
he's also a punch first, ask questions later type
I was
of
gonna
security
say,
guard too. He's not exactly like communicative. He's just beating people up.
Yeah, I think a cob includes Murph.
Hey, but we celebrate that with Rafi, that punch first, ask questions later.
Well,
So-
I trust black women. I don't know about you, Krista.
We have to and I trust little blue rubbers. I trust
Little blue rubbers. Trust those. Yeah.
I was just thinking, wouldn't it be fun if Jillian went to that planet that Wesley went to and broke the garden?
Yeah.
Real quick, it's time for my important segment. If you're just joining us, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Something about blue rubbers and underwater.
Nobody does. Where's Aaron in the chat?
Smashing flower beds. Whales smashing flower beds.
Matt's up, bitches.
Guzzle.
Whales. The whales should eat pepperoni pizza and Michelob. Hey,
Please. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, say please, guys.
I know the line. I'm just like, I've watched that movie too many times.
I know.
I'm being a line producer right now. I'm like, no. Or script. Sorry, never mind. Anyway, I'm gonna drink more.
All right, some other stuff that we haven't talked about yet in episode 6. So we get to distract the doctor. I think that's still episode 5, but it doesn't matter. No, this is a very deep cut joke connected to Dropout. Holodeck shenanigans. I put this out on Twitter, and again, don't be gross, but there is a way you would think, if properly regulated, that I will use myself as an example. If I had a holo duplicate and we were wondering which one of us was which, it'd be like, all right, let's go behind the curtain. You and I are going to drop our pants, and which one of us has a penis, because the holodeck one shouldn't, is the real one, right?
No.
Why would...
No, she said that they're exact duplicate. That would include
Right.
And I want to know why.
So they could
Regu-
be undetectable and pass.
Regulations need to be rewritten about holodecks.
Penises?
Stand for it. Yes.
Listen.
Well, my thing is, why would Rock?
That holodeck smelled like sex and shame, like lost dreams and shame. So, I think that there were genitals involved. Wouldn't it just be easier to prick them? If you prick me, do I not leak?
Yeah.
There you go. There's a deep cut. If you
Season 1 callbacks.
Do I not leak?
Yeah.
Especially with genitals.
I mean, how would Rock and Pog be able to do exact duplicates of them, to your point, Stan, without having like known every part of their anatomy? I guess is what you're asking. So I don't know.
So they would have in my head canon, they would have had to pull Starfleet scans from medical, and I don't think that the holodeck should be. I don't think you should be allowed to
recreate people's junk.
Yeah, that.
I'll say it.
Yeah, unless it's Chris Evans.
Joel said, "Delete the junk."
Also, in fairness,
we could delete the junk. Yeah.
So regarding Chris Evans' junk in regarding the Chris Evans recreation, in theory, you could recreate it with his junk because there's a picture of it out there.
which is why we need to pass. I forget what it's called, but AOC has a
Holodeck
Revenge
privacy
porn.
laws now.
prevention act that passed
But
the
I
Senate.
think you can, because like remember Riker in that binary thing, Riker asked Min, like, well, how far can this go? So he had to be considering putting it in, right?
Hey, he was. It was with what's her face? Minuet.
Minuet.
Minuet. He was wanting to duet with Minuet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Krista, you're on season 1 TNG fire tonight. Like
I don't know why. You know what? This is the kind of
Something.
stuff that sticks in my head. And remembering how to start my car. Nope.
I think you just have to turn a key.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's to push a button. Gotta
To
think
push
about
a
it.
button.
But this is
Can't
kind of
even
shit
push the
in my
button.
mind.
It's even easier than a key.
That's a good question, Joel. The pre-broccoli laws. Let's think about this. Did we discuss this during TNG?
we're going to have an entire salon about this topic.
I have talked about this a lot.
So brace yourselves. And we should probably have our disclaimer for that, even though it's not for children anyway, just because that one's going to be a lot.
You could have Jillian in the broccoli
Oh, no.
holodeck, softly brushing Broccoli's hair while a dolphin honestly.
You're sinking. You're sinking,
I'm
Krista.
stuck on it. I can't get off it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-mm.
Can't get off it. It's all in my head.
Like Jordy on a date, you just can't get off.
Poor Jordy.
Because when you touch the control panel, you're fondling me.
I think I just
Wow, we have totally this is
I-
totally out of
guys,
control.
guys, I think I just figured out one of our first Patreon topics. It could just be
Oh, no.
sensual readings from Krista. And she'll just read random scripts in her sexy
that.
voice.
I can do that. I'll have to have the camera off though, because
Oh yeah. No. It's
no, I won't.
Audio
I won't
only.
be able to. Everybody will have to turn their camera off. I won't. Be
what
able
if
to do what I
actually
do.
what if it's your voice, but it's Jillian's mouth moving?
But it's Jillian's mouth. I like that. I like that. I can submit that to Dipsy.
I am
Krista
now
Smith's
ready
whale.
to dance at the wedding.
You can't tell, but I'm so wet right now.
Oh my god. No, isn't the whale speak like, oh, I am so ready?
Are you
Is that what
watching
it
this
is on
show?
that?
It doesn't have the
Finding Nemo?
to it, Ken. It doesn't. It doesn't really. There's no turgid members.
Hey Ken,
when anyone.
Ken, we're talking about
Yeah.
Hey Ken, we're talking about Star Trek.
I think
I know we're talking about Star Trek.
this episode is off the rails, but I do want to say I appreciate the
Yes.
level of bullying Ken is receiving. That is
This
Now,
episode
look.
of the Salon or this episode of like
Look,
be more specific.
with this bullying comment right here.
listen, nobody talks about the upside of bullying, and I'm here for it.
Say more.
Ah.
Well,
It doesn't really
That's
apply to
fine.
this situation, but
Shucks. I was super
That's
curious.
fine. I can be bullied.
what would you do with your holo double? I would play 2-player video games because I don't always have somebody to play with. It's a bummer.
Wait, is that on the agenda?
No, I'm just out of things
No,
to
it's
talk
just,
about.
what would we do
because
with your own holo double?
that would have been.
Don't
a
be
good
gross, Ken.
question.
I'm not being gross. Why do you immediately think that I'm going
Push
to be
the button.
gross? Why?
Push the button. Push the
Why?
button. Ken was disgusting. Push the button.
Yeah, God.
should be ashamed of yourself
I
for thinking that thing that you didn't say out loud.
I was actually reading some commentary about somebody and couches, which is just disgusting, but that's something.
Okay, why are we bringing that into this space?
Because the seating on the Voyager A sucks.
That's right. That's right. Going all the way back.
Yeah.
There would be no
Voyager
way
A
to do
is
that
so-
on the Voyager A.
Yes.
I'm not
Voyager
letting it
A
go.
is so uncomfortable. JD Vance wouldn't even fuck it.
See, this is when you need the background music in the Sarah McLachlan, in the arms of the angels. You've got just different couches. Flash this couch and this couch. Look at that couch.
Every day, couches remain unfucked. For just 13 cents a day, you could send JD Vance, failed vice presidential candidate, to fuck 3 couches.
13
At
cents
least
a day.
a cushion.
The price of a cup of coffee without sugar. I'm trying to tie it back into the show. Sorry.
Yes, let's. This video is going to get flagged and taken down.
It's going to get what?
We're going to get another community violation.
Yeah.
Wait, what was our first one? Was it me?
Stan was by himself.
This is why I need a holo double to keep me on track. I was doing a Hive stream, which is me.
If you're just joining us, that means Stan's high. Yeah.
And whatever show I was talking about, I was like, oh, let's just put it up and watch it together. And you can only do a certain amount of time before it was a copyright violation, basically.
30 seconds, I think.
Yeah. But for until the end of time, our YouTube channel will have on the back end a community violation warning. It never disappears. It's like you fucked up once, and we're gonna remind you every time.
Right. See, I was thinking of something sexier than that. Like, give me an actual violation. So I got high and forgot to turn the show off. That's not very sexy.
So about that Patreon.
Rebel behavior. Out of control, breaking the law.
Thank you, Father A. We do need to change that.
Looking out for us. Appreciate it.
Good buddy Father A in the chat. We're gonna see him at STLV next week.
Yeah, I can't wait. So many people at STLV. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
Joel will be there.
Except for a few people who I wish were there but are not going now.
Yeah.
Leave Jillian out of this conversation.
Boo.
Jillian. Can you imagine Jillian there?
Cosplay opportunity.
Yeah, there's a cosplay opportunity. I'll think about it. That'd be good.
That autograph line would be out the convention center. It would be around the block, down. Yeah.
Instead of signing
Who do I make this out to? It's like a stamp.
Slaps it down. Next.
You're like, I'm sorry.
$100 for an autograph and a photo. Yeah.
Keep it moving.
My name is Trev. This says. Like,
oh,
spelled it wrong.
Whale now.
That almost made me snort. Who all on screen is coming to Vegas? 3 of 6.
3 of 6.
So Stan, Ken, and myself.
Yeah.
And Father, you said you have 3 cosplay. I want to see what they are. I want to know what they are. I mean, obviously I'll see them, but I want to know what they are. Or do I have to be surprised?
I have no cosplays.
That's not true.
Oh, is it not true? Okay.
You have the jackets.
Well, you have
That's right,
several
I have the
uniforms.
Oh, that's right. I do. I forgot. I have to pack them.
How did you forget that?
Oh. You know, I've seen that's awesome. Yeah.
Joanne, are you going to Nashville? Father is asking.
Yes. I will be at Nashville. And I have a Strange New Worlds inspired look. How about that?
Ooh.
Sassy. Again,
Yeah,
back to the Patreon conversation.
My cosplay will be limited this year to some fun t-shirts and a field jacket.
Fun t-shirts are fun.
We may be debuting a Salon t-shirt.
Rumor has it.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
And we will also be bringing, let me find it, bring the fun. Da-da-da. For subscribers that we run into at STLV, we
Not
will
right.
have a
You will be able-
limited supply
Be able to set your own intention.
of these fun little gifts. And
I love
on
it.
the back, there's a fun little sticker that says "Ghost Lover Not Included."
Father, you said you're going.
Something that Jillian could do. Inherent. Predatory, anaphasic.
Whale form. Father, are you going? You're going to STLV and Nashville, right? He's talking about Nashville right now.
I think so. He is.
Yes.
Okay.
What have we not talked? Well, they steal the ship again. They get away and they steal the Nebuchadnezzar-ized Infinity, cloak it
Good adjective.
against the Treaty of Algernon.
3 treaties.
Yeah. Fuck the Romulans, right? They're busy.
And nobody's supposed to know except for the fact that everybody is switched into different bodies, which in and of itself is kind of an interesting walk in my shoes kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That might be interesting to see if they carried on for a couple episodes.
Which is what we will be discussing in 2 weeks on the next episode of The Salon. It sounds like I'm trying to end it. I'm not necessarily. What else have we not talked about? Does anybody in the audience have a question for the panel?
Well, I will say while we wait for any questions to pop up, Krista just made me think of an idea. Since we have talked about trying to get the entire group of Salon to next year's STLV, I think it'd be really funny if there was a day that we cosplayed as each other.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I can handle it.
Or
Me reflected back to me. I don't know.
yeah, we just act like each other. Like we switch
Enter.
consciousness.
No. I'm showing up as Krista. Like y'all
Okay.
just get ready.
Well, that's just comfortable. Why do you get Krista? That's just comfortable.
Because she was my Salon away team buddy. Suck it.
That's true. We were Salon away team buddies. That's true.
Suck it is a good
That is
Vulcan
true.
game.
I'm gonna be wearing flowy things and I can do something fun with my hair.
I ran
Very
out
good.
of time to make it happen, but one of our brainstorms was we were all going to be a different version of Troy, and I was going to be cheerleader Troy. And I will still make this happen at a future convention, I think. But
It has to happen. It was too good.
I-
There's a lot of tech involved, but
yes, I had the idea of getting a very small Bluetooth speaker to put into my wig and record myself saying things so that I could play it and it would sound like I was projecting my thoughts into people's brains. I think it'd be super fun.
do you remember?
Do you remember what I taught you?
Anxiety.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
When I taught you, Imzadi.
Zadi, I should have taught you another word.
That was actually really good. That was a fun.
Will would be the Troy with her nipples in the
This is
nightgown.
what
Yeah.
I was
Nip,
just-
nipple Troy, yeah.
Yeah.
I would be nipple Troy, or it would
I was
be nipple
just
Troy, or it would be lesbian aerobic workout Troy. The sapphic workout with Bev.
Sapphic
That would be
workout
my.
with Bev. Second.
be
I would
my,
want to be
the second one.
Romulan Commander Troy.
Ooh.
Pretty good. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I would want to be
That's actually fierce, Ken.
prehistoric fish in a bathtub.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good. That's
Just
good.
complain. Just
I would
this would
just
be
have
great
to
in
walk
Vegas because
around.
in Vegas complain about it being cold
Yeah,
in August.
that's
It's
really
cold.
good.
I'll be just captured by Ferengi with Loxana, Troy.
There you go.
Towel.
I just walk
Oh.
around with a big green blanket around me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yep.
I would be the
Yeah.
goddess of empathy,
Yeah.
but I would walk around
There
being
you
a
go.
bitch.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
I am the
perfect.
goddess of empathy. Fuck you and your mama.
Period. Love that.
Oh. No, first thing I thought was that episode where it's just nipples.
It's cold on that
Hard
ship.
nipples. Hard.
It's cold in
nipples.
space. It's cold.
It would be
I
really
was-
good too if someone was Troy piloting the Enterprise D, like when she crash landed it, and she has like the navigator console and her hair's all freezing. She's like that. That would be a good one. It's just the costume is just the console in front of her, and her hair's all like because she's all like messed up, right? So like her piloting the ship. That's a good one too.
Yep.
But also hard nipples on that too.
Must.
All
All of the costumes just have pointy
Hard
nipples.
nipples.
Better.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
The two things that linked them together. It's a Troy, also hard nipples. The fish one can have a lot, like a row
You're
of
gonna
nipples.
have multiple hard nipples.
Like a
and
lot,
Yes,
like
right.
9 or 10, like just a bunch.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Gills.
Just
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
out. Good for her.
We all know that, like, the guy that she hooked up with on that elevator, when she was on that turbo lift and brought that guy back, that man was a homosexual.
Who?
Oh,
Which guy? What episode are you talking about?
When Riker walked in and he was putting on his boots or
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
Troy fucked a gay man. That's fun.
There was no. I'm
Good
fine.
for them.
I'm
Good
fully
for
supportive.
her.
I'm just saying there was nothing remotely heterosexual about that incident.
That's me.
Oh,
There, I'll do that
Oh.
one because I'll attract all the gents.
So many free beverages.
We'll put you on that.
That's-
We'll put you in a bathtub, and then we'll just drag
There we
you
go.
around.
There's Joanne.
There's Joanne
Sure.
telling everybody to get the fuck out of her way.
Mhm.
And also nipples.
And nipples, yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be a
super
fun one.
Troy. Oh, pregnant Troy would be good.
Oh, somebody needs to be old Troy. Remember when the guy? Oh, there's
yes.
the graphic. Do the old Troy when?
Oh,
Oh,
like-
in the fabulous dress.
Bride of
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Troy. Yeah.
Or it could be
Mhm,
like the
mhm.
drunk Troy
Right.
from First
Drunk
Contact.
Troy.
That would be fantastic.
I
We could
and I just
find you.
volunteered.
They're talking about
We could do
Tom.
drunk Troy, but also Troy piloting the Enterprise. So she's holding a bottle, but she's like all fucked up holding the console.
Important
Hard
salon
nipples, though, too.
message: don't drink and fly.
Don't drink and fly.
exactly.
Drink responsibly, y'all. At home, broadcasting live on the internet.
Yeah.
Indeed.
know.
Don't shame
Stan-
your family.
Are we looking at nipples now?
Benji said, "Are we looking
Yes,
at
Benji.
nipples now?" Yes, yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
are. Benji.
Yeah.
That's where
It
this
is the
conversation
salon
is led.
after dark. The salon
Hmm.
after dark.
Wow.
It's hard
I
to
would
talk
like
about
us-
Troy without talking about nipples.
I would like us to change the problematic gay alert to include Joanne's
Joanne's
laugh
laughter.
underneath
100%.
the music because it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
That was great.
I'm gonna bookmark this moment so I can clip that.
In fact, we should make tosser alert Ken just going live long.
Live long.
Wasn't there we talked about a video I need to create last week, right? Does anybody remember what that was?
I do, but I don't remember what the. Oh, there's an example that I was going to like. But Matt's confusing problematic something alert needs to be a thing.
A video version.
Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Yeah. No, let's just let this dead air last.
Let's just let it sit there.
Look,
Let's just sit on it for a minute.
Let's just get accustomed.
Off
adapt.
the
Let it-
rails.
Let it. feel
Final
normal.
thoughts on these 2 episodes of Star Trek Prodigy, the children's show.
You know what's really great about these though is that at the end, because I'm just watching them 2 at a time. Y'all have already watched all of them, but I'm watching them 2 at a time, and I find that the first episode I watch, I think to myself, "Oh, good, I've got another one." Like I'm a heroin addict. Okay, I've got a little bit more. I can watch that. But then at the end of the second one, I'm like, I can't watch it. But they're doing it so brilliantly that like each and every one is geared towards making you literally sit there and go through all of them. It makes it difficult not to do that. It's genius.
Yeah, if we didn't get this in a binge, I think every week I'd be a little frustrated. Like this TV show is edging me. I want to know what happens next.
Oh god.
Push the
the
button.
kid show again.
Push the button.
No,
Nipples.
I don't.
Actually, I think we need one that is just Krista going nipples.
Longer, like, oh, this got weird. Weird, I gotta get out of here.
Just
Wow.
not more than 30 seconds.
okay. So,
Trevor, you want to give us? You want to give us the tallies for the week?
I'll give you the scorecard, which, in honor of this being a show geared towards kids, it's also a math lesson. So buckle up. There were 3 problematic gay alerts, 1 Bev alert. Welcome back, Bev. 1 explosive saucer separation, and Will landed the ship twice. Nicely done, sir. 500 bonus points to Joanne for having her spirit touched. 2,200 points to Krista for rocking out with Rock. 12 points to Ken for starting shit on Twitter. Minus 5 points to Stan for, well, let's talk about it. Another negative 5 points to Ken for carp jokes, and another negative 25 points to Ken for that fucking flipper joke. 5,000 points. 5,000. Don't interrupt me. 5,000 points, or I'll take away more. You can go further. 5,000 points to Will for underwater tap dancing, and 65,000 points to Krista for TNG season 1 pricking callbacks.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. You saying my dumb joke from earlier got me again. Well, let's talk about it. It's so bad.
Well, what the
oh, well.
We will be back in 2 weeks to discuss Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. We'll also do a recap of all of the fun that we experience at Star Trek Las Vegas, and recap any Star Trek news that we get this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con. So be sure to smash that subscribe button, share, tell your friends to do it, bully them into it. Your subscription is your voice, so join with us. Another campaign messaging. I don't know. I am both a little high and very hungry, so I am.
Nipples.
I'm something. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.